My name is Margaret Winster. I am 60 years old and a retired chemistry professor. 3 months ago, I married Liam, a 27-year-old social media influencer. His fans call him Sweet Tea because his smile is as sweet as honey. We met at an open house in my laboratory. He was wearing a white t-shirt and standing in front of a chromatograph when he asked me, "Can this machine separate out a rainbow?" I laughed. It was the first time I had laughed at someone in the 10 years since my husband died, not a polite laugh, but one that welled up from deep within my throat. He told me later that he had come specifically for that laugh. He said he had stood outside the lab door for half an hour, listening to me explain things to the students. My voice was steady, like a weather forecast. He said, "I understood every word, but I pretended not to, because I wanted to hear you say it all over again." I believed him. At 60, to still believe in love, perhaps it is foolish, or perhaps it is brave. We dated for 8 months. All my friends said he was after my money. I knew that, but I didn't care. Because I was after his youth, too, the way he made me feel alive.
I'm nervous.
Me too.
The way he read poetry to me late at night in a voice like a cello. He read Neruda and Szymborska, sometimes mispronouncing words. I never corrected him, because the mistakes sounded beautiful. The wedding was simple, held at City Hall with only my lawyer and me present. He wore a white suit and I wore a white gown. His fingers trembled slightly as he slipped the ring onto my finger.
I'm nervous.
Me too.
A week after the wedding, he died. A car accident. The police said his car was rear-ended by a truck on the highway. He died instantly. I was brewing coffee in the kitchen when I got the call. The coffee pot hissed, and steam clouded the window. I stood there for a long time, then turned off the stove, and sat at the dining table. His coffee cup from the day before was still there, a brown ring of residue staining the side he drank his coffee black. I stared at that ring, dry-eyed. The stain slowly dried and darkened, looking like a scar. That night, I held his pillow and wept for the first time. I cried until my throat was hoarse, and a large patch of the pillow was soaked.
Margaret, please accept my condolences.
Why are you here?
A lot of people came to the funeral, his fans, his influencer friends, and a few people I didn't recognize. Derek was there too. He was my former stepson, 35 years old, and we had lost touch after my ex-husband passed away. He was wearing a black suit, his hair slicked back, and his leather shoes polished to a shine. He walked up to me, extended his hand, and then pulled it back.
Margaret, please accept my condolences.
Why are you here?
He's my younger brother. We share the same mother, but
You never mentioned him.
A flicker passed through his eyes. It was brief, but I caught it not sadness but nervousness.
we haven't been in touch for a long time.
He said nothing more. When the funeral ended, he left. I stood by the grave, gazing at Liam's photograph. He was smiling in the picture, just as he had been when we first met. His teeth were white, his eyes bright. I returned home and sat on the sofa. His scent still lingered in the living room, not cologne, but the laundry detergent he used. It was faint, like spring grass. His blue slippers were still by the door, the insides worn down from use.
We suspect foul play. Has your husband made any enemies recently?
His toothbrush remained in the holder. I didn't put them away. To put them away would mean he was truly gone. Leaving them there made it feel as though he might still come back. I walked into the bedroom and buried my face in his pillow. The scent of the detergent was still there. I closed my eyes, pretending he had just gone to take a shower and would be back any moment. I waited for a long time. There was no sound of water running in the bathroom. He never came back. On the 7th day after the funeral, the police came to see me. Detective Jack, a man in his 40s who spoke with a slow, measured cadence, sat in my living room, holding a cup of tea he hadn't touched.
Mrs. Winster, we have reinvestigated your husband's car accident.
What's the meaning?
The truck driver said it wasn't intentional, but we discovered that the brakes had been tampered with.
It wasn't the truck's brakes, it was your husband's. A small cut had been made in the brake line, so the fluid would leak out completely after just a few pumps of the pedal.
Is someone trying to harm him?
We suspect foul play. Has your husband made any enemies recently?
Now he was dead. It hadn't been an accident.
He has no enemies. He only has fans.
Has anyone threatened him? Or have you had any property disputes with anyone?
I thought for a moment. Derek's face flashed through my mind.
No.
Detective Jack closed his notebook.
We will continue the investigation. Please be careful. Don't go to isolated places alone, and don't open the door to strangers. The killer might come back.
He laughed. I sat on the sofa, staring at the wedding photo on the wall. Liam had his arm around my waist, smiling like a child. Now he was dead. It hadn't been an accident. Someone had killed him. I stood up and opened the fridge. Inside were the strawberries he'd bought washed and stored in a container, topped with a note in his handwriting. Margaret, eat 5 a day, no slacking off. His handwriting was messy. He'd missed a stroke in the character for lazy. I picked up a strawberry and took a bite. It was sour. It wasn't the strawberry that was sour, though it was the tears falling into it.
Margaret, what do you mean?
Liam's brakes have been tampered with.
I started going through Liam's things, his phone, his computer, his drawers. He had no secrets. His diary recorded what he ate, whom he met, and what videos he filmed each day. His handwriting was ugly, crooked, and scrawled but earnest. The last entry read, "Had coffee with Derek today. He said he missed me. I don't believe him." Derek, my former stepson. What was his relationship with Liam? Why were they getting coffee? I checked Derek's social media. He rarely posted, but there was an update from last year. A photo of 2 men by the sea, their backs to the camera. The caption read, "Little brother, long time no see." I called Derek. It rang 3 times before he answered.
Derek, where were you the day Liam had that accident?
At home.
Can anyone prove this?
Margaret, what do you mean?
Liam's brakes have been tampered with.
There was a long silence on the other end. I could hear his breathing soft, yet rapid.
I don't know what you are talking about.
He hung up.
Without evidence, there's nothing we can do.
We can trick him into talking.
I stood by the window, clutching the phone. Roses grew in the yard. Liam had planted them for me. He used to say, "Roses suit you." Now they were in bloom, pink blossoms swaying gently in the breeze. He was gone. I spoke to the roses. "Liam, I will find the truth." The wind died down. The roses went still, as if listening. I went to see Agent Jack. His office was a mess, with files piled high on his desk. He had me sit down and poured me a glass of water.
Liam and Derek are brothers. Derek is my former stepson.
Do you think he's a suspect?
The day before Liam's accident, he had coffee with him.
Does the coffee shop have surveillance cameras?
No. It's a small shop in an alley, cash only.
We'll talk to him, but he can remain silent. Without evidence, there's nothing we can do.
We can trick him into talking.
Someone needs to make contact with him. If our people go, he'll be alert.
I'll go.
Mrs. Winster, you're 60 years old.
So?
If he finds out you're trying to trick him, it could be dangerous.
My husband is already dead. I can't be more afraid. Are you crazy? I'm not crazy. I just don't want him to live.
I'll have someone teach you how to use the recording device.
That afternoon, a young policewoman showed me how to use a button cam recorder. It wasn't difficult. I went home and sat on the balcony from afternoon until nightfall. Liam's roses turned a deep red in the moonlight. I thought back to the first time he held my hand. His palm had been sweaty. I made a decision. I would make Derek confess. I turned to Elena, my lawyer, and also my best friend. She was 60, 2 months older than me, yet she looked younger.
That's why I came back.
She sat across from me, listened to what I had to say, and remained silent for a long time.
Margaret, this is illegal. Impersonating someone's identity, setting up a trap to get a confession. If you're discovered, you'll be prosecuted. I know. You're not afraid. I am. But I'm more afraid of him getting away with it. What do you need me to do? Help me find someone. Someone who looks like Liam. What are you going to do? Have him pretend to be Liam. Call Derek and make Derek think he's not dead. Are you crazy? I'm not crazy. I just don't want him to live.
She stayed silent for a long while. Sunlight from the window fell upon her hair, highlighting a few more strands of gray that gleamed brightly. Elena found an actor named Mark.
All right, I'll help you. But promise me, no matter what happens, don't hurt yourself. I promise.
She reached out her hand, and I took it. Her touch was warm. Then she stood up and left. I picked up the photograph of Liam and wiped the dust from the glass. Liam, are you afraid? If you can see from up in heaven what I'm about to do, would you support me? He offered no answer. Outside the window, the wind stirred the roses, scattering petals across the ground like a path. Elena found an actor named Mark. He was 3 years older than Liam, but his profile bore a striking resemblance, and his voice was remarkably similar. He adopted Liam's hairstyle and wore the same white t-shirt. The first time I saw him, my heart skipped a beat, not because of the resemblance but because of the difference. His eyes were wrong. Liam's eyes held a certain light. Mark's did not. I showed him videos of Liam and had him study his accent, his laugh, and the way he walked. Mark was a quick study. Within 3 days, he could mimic Liam's phone conversations. The voice, the tone, and the pauses were identical. He mastered Liam's laugh, to that short, nasal chuckle.
Liam is already dead, and Ned...
Margaret, he won't find out, will he?
No, because Derek doesn't know him.
What if he does?
There are no what-ups.
I had Mark record a voice message. Derek, it's Liam. I'm not dead. I want to see you. The audio was processed with a bit of static to simulate a poor connection. I listened to it 5 times, making sure there were no telltale flaws. Then, I opened the chat window with Derek and hovered my finger over the send button for a long moment. Outside the window, the sky had darkened, and the moon was full. I pressed send. He called back immediately. The ringtone was rapid and urgent.
Margaret, who sent that voice message?
I don't know. I received it too.
Liam is already dead, and Ned...
Really, are you sure?
He hung up again. My hands were trembling, but my voice remained steady. I stared at the phone screen. That night, Derek came to my house. He stood in the doorway, pale and disheveled, looking as if he had driven straight over the moment he rolled out of bed. One of his shirt buttons was misaligned. There were deep, dark circles under his eyes.
You know it. You tampered with the brakes.
Margaret, where is Liam?
I don't know.
The voice message you sent.
I didn't send it. It's your guilty conscience.
I didn't.
Then why are you afraid?
He opened his mouth but couldn't get a word out. I closed the door. He remained on the doorstep for a long time. Through a gap in the curtains, I watched him. His shoulders were shaking, as if he were weeping. That night, I received a message from him, not one sent to me, but to a friend of his. Liam isn't dead. He came to see me. I smiled. He had taken the bait. I had Mark call Derek. Not a voice message, a real call, using Liam's voice.
Derek, why should you kill me?
On the other end of the line, Derek fell silent. I could hear his breathing heavy, as if he were running.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know it. You tampered with the brakes. No, it was you. You wanted to seize her fortune. You couldn't get the inheritance when she married me, so you killed me.
Elena walked over and hugged me, holding me tight. You did it. Silence. A long, long silence. Then Derek spoke, his voice quiet, yet perfectly clear.
You never should have lived.
I was the one who hit the record button. Elena had set up the equipment for me. His voice came through crystal clear on the recording. My hands didn't tremble. My heart didn't race. I stopped the recording and saved 3 copies of the file. One on the phone, one on the computer, and one on a flash drive. Mark took off his headphones and looked at me.
Is that enough?
That's enough.
Elena walked over and hugged me, holding me tight. You did it.
It wasn't me. Liam is watching from heaven.
Tears began to fall. Since the day Liam died, my tears had been like a blocked tap. Now the tap was open, and the water was hot, scaldingly hot against my face. Outside the window, dawn was breaking. The stars were winking out one by one, as if someone were turning off the lights.
Liam. He confessed.
I handed the recording to Detective Jack. He listened to it once, then listened again.
This is the proof.
Is it enough?
Yes. He admitted to the murder on the phone.
Derek was arrested. The news broke that evening. The headlines read, "Influencer murder case solved. Stepbrother confesses." The comments section exploded. He got what he deserved. Killing for money he ought to rot. His stepmother is so pitiful. I didn't need pity. I just needed the truth. At 2 a.m, my phone lit up. It was a message from Derek, just 2 words. Why? I didn't reply. I set the phone on the nightstand and turned off the light. Moonlight filtered through the gap in the curtains, falling across Liam's photo. His smile remained bright, like a light that would never go out.
Liam. He confessed.
He didn't answer from the photo, yet he smiled, as if saying, I knew you could do it. I closed my eyes. I didn't dream that night. When dawn broke, I got up and brewed some coffee 78 degrees, no sugar. I poured a cup for Liam and placed it at his spot. The steam rose slowly, blurring his photograph. Good morning. There was no answer, but the coffee was steaming.
You killed a man for a small sum of money.
The trial lasted 3 weeks. Derek's lawyer argued that he suffered from mental illness and required treatment rather than imprisonment. The prosecution maintained that it was a premeditated murder, backed by solid evidence. A recording was played in the courtroom, Derek's voice echoing through the room.
You never should have lived.
Mrs. Winster, do you have anything to say to the defendant?
I stood up. My legs felt a bit weak, yet I stood tall. I looked at Derek. He sat in the defendant's chair, wearing a dark suit. His hair was disheveled, his eyes red and swollen, and his face looked gaunt.
Derek, I do not hate you. What I hate is your greed. You killed a man for a small sum of money. That man was your brother. Your own brother!
Tears began to fall. It wasn't silent weeping, but the kind of sobbing that made his shoulders heave uncontrollably. Mucus ran down his nose, but he made no move to wipe it away. The judge handed down the sentence, life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. As the bailiffs led him away, he paused briefly as he passed me. He was gone. I remained seated in the gallery, motionless for a long time. Elena held my hand. Her touch was warm.
Margaret, you won. I didn't win. He's dead and I have lost too.
Outside the courtroom window, the sky was a brilliant blue. A cloud drifted over, obscuring the sun.
Liam, it's sunny today. How's the weather over there?
Liam's ashes are buried in the cemetery north of the city. His headstone is white, inscribed with the words, "Your smile was like honey." I visit once a week, bringing a bouquet of white roses. Each time, I also bring a cup of coffee 78 degrees, no sugar, just the way he liked it. I pour the coffee onto the soil in front of the stone. The earth absorbs it, and the liquid seeps down. Perhaps he can taste it, perhaps not. I crouch down and use my hands to clear away the fallen leaves from around the headstone. My knees ache. I'm getting old, and crouching for too long hurts. When Liam was alive, whenever I stayed down too long, he would reach out and pull me up. His hands were large and warm. With a single tug, I'd be on my feet. Now, there is no one to pull me up. I steady myself against the headstone and slowly rise. The stone is cold, cold as ice.
Liam, it's sunny today. How's the weather over there?
There is no answer. The wind sighs softly as it passes through the pine trees. I stand up and brush the dirt from my knees. See you next week. I walk away. Reaching the cemetery gate, I glance back. His headstone gleams white in the sunlight, like a quiet full stop.
Have you lost your mind? I haven't lost my mind.
I come here every week, rain or shine. When the white roses wither, I replace them with fresh ones. I pour the coffee onto the earth and watch it seep down. Perhaps he tastes it, perhaps not. But I know that while I do this, he is right there beside me. I've decided to donate all my assets not to any charity, but to a special fund, the Victims of Inheritance Fraud Fund. It's set up to aid people who've been harmed by their own relatives for the sake of money. Liam wasn't defrauded, yet he was murdered, and greed over wealth was the root of his death. Elena is handling all the paperwork for me. She sits across from me, flipping through stacks of documents.
Margaret, Are you really going to donate it? Yes. Where will you live afterwards? In a nursing home. Have you lost your mind? I haven't lost my mind. I just don't want money to ruin lives anymore.
She drops her gaze, her eyes glistening with tears.
He would be heartbroken if he knew. He will never know he's dead.
I pick up the pen and sign my name neatly, each stroke deliberate, on the final page. Once finished, I set the pen down. The money is gone. The house, the cars, all of it gone. The nursing home is located on the west side of town. From a wealthy widow, I am reduced to an elderly woman bound for a nursing home, yet an immense weight lifts off my shoulders. For years, that fortune has weighed on me like a boulder. The inheritance George left me, the funds Liam never got to spend, the fortune Derek sought to steal. Now the stone is cast aside, and I can breathe freely at last. That night, I sit alone in the hollow, empty living room. Our wedding portrait still hangs on the wall, Liam's face bright with a smile. I stand and walk over to the photograph, brushing my fingertip gently against his likeness. Liam, I gave all the money away. You won't blame me, will you? His smile never fades, as if whispering that he'd stand by every choice I make. The nursing home is located on the west side of town. It is small yet spotlessly clean. My room is tiny, with a single window overlooking a garden filled with Liam's favorite roses. They are not red, but soft pink. Their petals are paper thin, and fine delicate veins show through when sunlight shines upon them. I brought only one suitcase with me the day I moved in, filled with my clothes, books, and a photograph of Liam. I set the picture on my nightstand so he is the first thing I see every morning when I wake up, his bright, warm smile unchanged.
Liam, we've moved. It's tiny, but their house is out the window. You'll love it.
A 90-year-old woman lives next door. She is hard of hearing and loves to sing. Her voice is not pleasant to listen to, yet she sings with pure, unbridled joy. She never realizes I am listening, but I always am. She sings classic old tunes I knew in my youth, including Jasmine Flower and Tuberose. Her bedroom door always stays open. Whenever I walk past, I catch sight of her sitting on the edge of her bed, lips moving as she sings with her eyes closed, and a faint, gentle smile tugging at the corners of her mouth.
How old are you, sister? 60. You look so young.
She has no idea my heart is far older than hers. I return to my room and straighten Liam's photo. I step back 2 paces to check if it hangs level. It tilts slightly, so I shift it 1 centimeter to the left until it sits perfectly straight.
Liam, we've moved. It's tiny, but their house is out the window. You'll love it.
There is no reply from him. A wind blows through the window, stirring the rose bushes. Petals drift down and settle on the windowsill. 1, then 2, then 3. I pick them up and tuck them between the pages of the Neruda poetry collection he once gifted me.
Liam, where are you?
I got Derek's second letter. The first one was an apology, which I never answered, and this is the second. Margaret, you gave away all the money? Did you really? I replied with just 1 word. Yes. He wrote back again. That money was mine. My father left it to me. I wrote in response. What your father left you wasn't wealth. It was a lesson, and you failed to learn it. He never sent another letter. I folded his letters neatly and put them in a drawer. Inside the drawer also lay Liam's journal, his photographs, and a picture of a coffee mug. The water stains lining its surface had dried into faint brown rings. I held the photo up to the light. The marks were distinct, resembling the annual rings of a tree. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If Liam had lived, how many rings would our marriage have grown? Not a single one. We only had 7 days together. That afternoon, I sat on a bench in the garden, soaking up the warm, gentle sunshine. The pink roses bloomed abundantly, their petals swaying softly in the breeze. I closed my eyes, pretending Liam was sitting beside me, leaning his head on my shoulder, but the seat next to me stayed empty.
Do you still miss him? Every single day.
I opened my eyes, and the bright sunlight stung them slightly. I held a hand over my forehead and stared at the vacant chair.
Liam, where are you?
There was no answer, only the rustling roses. I stood up and walked back to my room. The corridor stretched long, lined with gray floor tiles and white walls. The elderly woman next door was singing again, this time times the wandering songstress. Her tune was off-key, yet she remembered every single lyric perfectly. Elena came to visit me, bringing a basket of apples, oranges, and grapes. The grapes were sweet and soft, bursting the moment you bit into them. She sat beside my bed, gazing at Liam's photograph.
Do you still miss him? Every single day. Do you regret it? Regret marrying him? No, I only regret failing to protect him.
She took my hand in hers.
Margaret, you're not a superhero. I know.
But I should have seen it come. When Derek showed up out of nowhere, I should have known. No one could have predicted it. Who would have imagined one brother would kill his own sibling? I'll come see you again next week. Bring strawberries.
She was right, yet my heart refused to accept it.
Elena, what do you think our life would be like if Liam were still alive? He'd be filming videos, and you'd teach classes, drink photography, just like any ordinary couple. We never fought. Then you weren't really a real couple. All real couples argue. We were never ordinary. No, you weren't. But your love was ordinary at its core, just two people who wanted to stay side by side forever.
As she left, she paused at the doorway.
Margaret, I'll come see you again next week. Bring strawberries, all right?
The sound of her footsteps faded down the long hallway. I leaned back against the headboard, picked up Liam's photo, and wiped dust off its glass frame. My fingertips brushed his face, cold to the touch, just like his skin once was. Sunlight streamed through the window onto my hair. More silver strands had woven themselves into my dark locks, like moonlight spilling across a dark night.
Because my grandma is also in a nursing home.
A new nursing assistant has come to the nursing home. Her name is Lily. She's 25, with short hair and dimples when she smiles. She wheels the elderly woman next door out to soak up the sun, sings to her, and combs her hair. Her movements are gentle. Even after the old lady drifts off to sleep, Lily keeps tending to her, tucking the quilt tight and plumping up her pillow.
Lily, why did you take this job?
Because my grandma is also in a nursing home. I hope someone will be kind to her. Because my grandma is also in a nursing home. I hope someone will be kind to her.
In another city.
How often do you go to see her? Once a year. It's too little.
Her eyes welled up.
I know. But I have no money, no time. I have to send money back home, pay rent, and eat. I have to save up for a long time just for one train ticket.
I fell silent. I once knew that struggle all too well. Right after George passed away, I was all alone. No children, no living relatives. Back then, I could not grasp the point of wealth, except that it freed you from having to beg others for help.
Lily, do you want to study?
Study?
Go to college. You're 25. It's still not too late. I don't have the money.
I love kids. Early childhood education?
I can help you. No, I can't take your money. It's not mine. It's Liam's. He won't be needing it anymore.
Tears spilled down her cheeks, pooling in her dimples. I reached out and wiped them away. Her face was warm, and so were her tears.
Stop crying. You won't look pretty if you keep crying.
Then she laughed, weeping through her smile and smiling through her tears. I started teaching Lily to read and write. She never went to university, yet she was sharp as a tack. She picked up characters lightning fast. Her stroke order was all wrong, but every character she penned looked neat and tidy.
What major do you want to study?
I don't know. I'll take whatever I can get into.
That won't do. Pick something you love.
I love kids. Early childhood education?
That sounds great.
I wrote the 4 characters' preschool education down on a sheet of paper, and she copied them out. Her hand trembled slightly, yet the writing remained neat and even.
Margaret, is my writing any good?
It's good. Better than Liam's writing.
Was his handwriting that bad?
Terrible. But he put so much effort into each part, every word, like carving an inscription on a stone tablet.
I want to hear it again.
Because you're kind to me, too.
We had our lessons every afternoon from 2 till 4 on the garden bench. Sunlight filtered through the tree leaves, dappling streaks of light across the pages. Lily learned at an astonishing pace. She had an excellent memory. One lesson was all it took for her to memorize every new character. After finishing each line of writing, she'd turn to me and ask, "Did I get it right?" Only when I said yes would she finally relax.
Margaret, why are you so kind to me?
You've asked me that before.
I want to hear it again.
Because you're kind to me, too.
She ducked her head and smiled. Sunlight spilled over her short black hair, gilding it with a faint golden halo. She held up her notebook toward the sun. Light seeped through the thin paper, turning the characters pale, tawny, like burnt brand marks.
Margaret, I'll be the first to tell you once I get into university.
All right.
I'll tell Grandma second.
All right.
I'll tell Liam third.
I froze for a beat, then smiled softly. He was long gone, but perhaps, somewhere, he could hear us.
I've never had anyone read poetry to me.
I dreamed of Liam. He stood in the rose garden in a white t-shirt, smiling. He waved me over, yet no matter how far I walked, I could never reach him. He stayed far away, drifting further and further off. His face blurred, and his voice faded too. I woke up with my pillow soaked through. Moonlight streamed through the window and fell on Liam's photograph, his smile still bright in the glow. Lily stood in the doorway in her rumpled pajamas, her hair a messy tangle.
Margaret, did you have a nightmare? It wasn't a nightmare. It was a beautiful dream, but I can't wake up.
She stepped inside, sat down on the edge of the bed, and took my hand in hers. Her palms were warm.
What does he look like? Handsome. More handsome than in the photos? Much more. Photos can't capture his voice. What's his voice like? Like a cello. Low, slow. When he reads poetry, every word feels like he's brushing your hair.
Lily fell quiet for a moment.
I've never had anyone read poetry to me. You will someday. Maybe.
Lily fell quiet for a moment. She tucked the quilt around me and fluffed my pillow, her movements gentle as if tending to a small child.
Margaret, when you miss him, just call me. I'll stay and talk with you.
All right.
She stood and walked to the door.
Good night.
Good night.
Do you hate me?
The door clicked shut. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling. The plain white plaster turned pale blue beneath the moonlight, just like the sea, Liam's favorite place.
Liam, are you out there in the sea?
There was no reply. A breeze outside stirred the rose bushes, and petals drifted onto the windowsill, rustling softly, as if whispering, I'm here. I've made up my mind to go see Derek, not to forgive him, just to see what he's become. Elena came with me. The prison stood on the outskirts of town, an hour's drive away. The ride was silent, save for the old songs drifting from the radio. The visiting room was spacious, divided by a sheet of thick glass. He sat on the other side in prison uniform, his hair cropped short. He'd wasted away, aged far beyond his 35 years. His cheekbones jutted sharply, his eye sockets sunken deep, his lips cracked and parched. He picked up the handset, and I did the same.
Margaret, you're here.
I came to see you.
Do you hate me?
No,
Why?
because hating you can't bring him back. No, I won't. He's not the one I should come see.
Tears spilled down his face. He made no move to wipe them, letting them stream over his cheeks and stain the front of his uniform.
I learned a trade in prison, woodworking. I made a chair for my cellmate. It's beechwood, really sturdy.
As long as it's steady.
Margaret, can you forgive me?
I can't.
Why not?
Because Liam can't forgive you. He's gone.
He hung his head, his breath fogging the glass between us. I stood and headed for the door.
Derek,
He lifted his gaze.
is the chair you made sturdy?
It's sturdy.
That's good then.
I left. The corridor stretched endless, lined with drab gray walls. Elena waited for me by the exit.
He's still the same. Same as was what? You know what I'm talking about. Pitiful.
We stepped outside the prison gates. The sunlight burned bright, the sky a cloudless, vivid blue.
Margaret, will you come again? No, I won't. He's not the one I should come see. Liam is.
On the drive back to the nursing home, we passed a tiny flower shop. Several buckets of blooms lined the doorway, red roses, white lilies, yellow daisies. The first bouquet Liam ever gave me was daisies.
You've told me about it 800 times. Elena, stop the car. I want to buy some flowers.
I stepped out of the car and walked into the shop. The air was thick with floral fragrance, rich yet never cloying.
Ma'am, what kind of flowers would you like?
Daisies.
For someone?
For myself.
She paused for a second, then smiled. She picked out a handful of bright yellow daisies and wrapped them in white tissue paper. They cost 15 yuan. I handed her a 20 and told her to keep the change. She smiled again. Back in the car, I rested the bouquet on my lap. The yellow petals glinted in the sunlight, like a little patch of sunshine held in my hands.
Elena, guess who once gave me daisies? Liam. How did you know? You've told me about it 800 times.
I laughed, and she laughed too. When we got to the nursing home, I found a glass bottle, washed it clean, filled it with water, and set the daisies inside. The bottle was clear, the water crystal clear, and the yellow blooms stood tall in the liquid like a cluster of little girls. I placed a vase beside Liam's photograph. His smile sat side by side with the daisies, as if they were talking to each other. The first flowers he gave me were daisies. He'd said, "Roses are far too ordinary. You deserve something better. The better thing is gone. Only the daisies remain."
I die from sheer joy. Then so be it.
Lily's exam results were out. She'd been admitted, not to a top-tier key university, but an ordinary teacher's college, majoring in preschool education. When she came to me clutching her admission notice, her hands and lips were both trembling.
Margaret, I got in.
She burst into tears, not quiet, sniffling, but loud, unrestrained, sobbing like a little child. Snot and tears streamed down her face, smudging her features completely.
Stop crying.
I can't help it. My grandma would be absolutely overjoyed if she found out.
Then don't tell her.
Why? If I die from sheer joy, then so be it.
She froze for a moment, then laughed through her tears, alternating between crying and smiling, her dimples brimming with tears. I helped her complete the enrollment formalities and paid her tuition fees. The money came from the fund, Liam's fund. He would be glad to know his money was supporting a young girl's studies. He'd always loved lending a hand to others. The day Lily moved out, she tidied the room spotlessly and folded her bed sheets neatly. She left a note on the nightstand. "Margaret, once I graduate, I'll come take care of you in your old age." I folded the note carefully and tucked it into the drawer, alongside Liam's journals. Her room stood empty. I lingered in the doorway, staring at the bare bed. Maybe Lily would come back one day. Maybe she wouldn't. But she would remember me, just as I still remember Liam.
Mom, you can finally see Dad now.
The elderly woman next door passed away. She left peacefully, slipping away in her sleep without a breath left. When the caregiver made morning rounds, they found her mouth slightly parted, as if mid-song. One hand rested outside the quilt, palm upturned, waiting for someone to hold it. Her daughter arrived and wept for hours. I never learned the old lady's name, only that she loved singing. She sang all her life, Jasmine Flower, Tuberose, the wandering songstress. She sang for her husband, for herself, and for the empty air around her. Now her voice is silent. Her daughter whispered,
Mom, you can finally see Dad now.
I never knew her husband, yet I knew she had waited 20 long years for this moment. Her room stood empty. Fresh white sheets without a single wrinkle covered the bed. The window stayed open all day to air out the room, letting in the scent of roses drifting from outside. I lingered in the doorway, gazing at the bare mattress. One day, I will lie there too. There will be no one to sing for me. Or maybe there will. Perhaps Lily will sing. I stepped into the vacant room and sat on the edge of the bed. "Granny, have you met him?" There was no reply. "If you run into Liam, tell him I'm still here, living well." The curtains fluttered and fell back down. Maybe she heard me, maybe not.
You were beautiful for others when you were young. Now your beauty belongs only to yourself.
My hair has turned white. It didn't gray gradually, it happened all at once. Right after Liam died, I looked in the mirror and spotted white strands along my temples. 1, 2, 3. Now they spread across my whole head, like snow in winter. "Lily told me," I said.
Stain it? No need. Let it stay white. Let me grow old. Won't dye it, won't pretend. Liam would never look down me.
He never did.
You look beautiful no matter what.
What a liar, though his words were always sweet. That afternoon, I sat on a bench in the garden, soaking up the sun. The sunlight fell over my white hair, turning it shimmering silver. Henry came over and sat down beside me. He was a new resident at the nursing home, 85 years old, a retired judge. His hair was completely white, yet his eyes still sparkled brightly.
"Margaret, your hair's turned white. It's beautiful, just like moonlight.
I smiled.
You must have been stunning when you were young."
Don't I look good now?
You're still beautiful now, just in a different way.
What's different about it?
You were beautiful for others when you were young. Now your beauty belongs only to yourself.
She sang better than you, but you're wonderful too.
"Margaret, will you remarry?"
No. What about you?
"I won't either. My wife has been gone for 20 years. I still miss her.
What was she like?
She loved singing, wasn't good at it, but she never stopped."
What kind of songs did she sing?
The moon represents my heart.
I hummed a line.
You ask how deep my love for you is.
He closed his eyes and listened, then murmured,
She sang better than you, but you're wonderful too.
Derek has written to me again. This time the letter ran long, filling 2 full pages. His handwriting was far neater than before he'd practiced it in prison. "Margaret, I've thought about so much locked up here. After Father died, I thought you'd look after me, but you didn't. You threw me out of the house, ignored my calls, wouldn't give me a cent. I hated you. But Liam was different. He's my little brother. He should have been on my side. Instead, he married you, took your money, and forgot all about me. So this was why he harbored resentment toward me, because I I'd sent him away, not pure hatred but bitter grievance. He blamed me for failing to treat him like a son. Star flickered once. Just once. We weren't blood related, yet I'd raised him for years. We'd all lived under one roof while George was alive. Once George was gone, I told him to stand on his own 2 feet. He was 23 back then, hardly a boy. But in his eyes, I'd abandoned him. That was why he'd killed the man I loved. Not for money, but out of revenge. My hands shook as I clutched the paper, crumpling its surface. He'd pressed his pen down hard while writing. Raised indentations bulged on the reverse side of the sheet. I ran my fingertips over those bumps one by one, as if tracing Braille. That night, I sat out on the balcony, gazing up at the stars. One blazed brighter than the rest. I didn't know its name, yet I fixed my stare on it. Liam, are you up there on that star? The star flickered once. If it's really you, blink twice for me. It flickered again, only once. You never listened to me. You were stubborn even back then. I'd tell you to wrap up warm, and you'd refuse. I'd beg you to cut back on sweets, and you'd sneak them anyway. I begged you not to leave me, but you died all the same. The star stayed still, no twitch. Still, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. The star flickered once. Just once, and that was enough. Stirring my white hair, he wouldn't write back. I wrote a letter in reply. I sat at my desk with the lamp on, its yellow light falling across the white paper. Derek, I didn't abandon you. I just thought you had grown up and were ready to fly on your own. I was wrong. You hadn't grown up. You were always just a child. Now you have times grown up in prison. Liam is dead. He'll never grow up. You won. You got your revenge. Are you satisfied? I read it over once I'd finished. The handwriting was neat, every stroke deliberate, with no corrections. I folded the letter and tucked it into an envelope, addressing it to him at the prison. Early the next morning, I dropped the letter into the mailbox. It was a red box on the street corner. The sunlight made its red paint gleam. As the letter slipped inside, it made a soft thud times, a quiet sound, like a heartbeat. I stood by the mailbox, unable to walk away. Liam, do you think he'll write back? There was no answer. The wind blew, stirring my white hair. He wouldn't write back. I knew that, because he had nothing left to say, and neither did I. I turned and walked back to the nursing home. The corridor was long, with gray floor tiles and white walls. My footsteps echoed times tap, 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 tap. Back in my room, I picked up Liam's photograph. He was smiling, as if to say, it's all right to let it go. Outside the window, the roses were in bloom, pink ones. A single dewdrop clung to a petal, sparkling in the sunlight.